I think art is eternal and art is inspirational.
I think art and activism play a large role in each other.
Provided pundits and other individuals a different way of seeing the issue visually.
I think art has served as a way for people to express their grief and their anger.
Art has always been the way, for us at least, been one of the main things to express ourselves.
We all shook our heads with familiarity that day, having been well acquainted to evil and its audacity. Sighed with disappointment that not even social distancing can keep us safe from the wicked and obscene. We are no longer just accustomed to this trauma, but are now wrapped in the cold, perverted embrace of this pain. Left lifeless from the crossfires of imagery and reports, we find ourselves dying along with them when we watch these videos, our breath taken away. We die along with them in these videos, our backs left crippled and broken. We die along with them in these videos, our eyes glazed and glued open, unable to turn away. I have no tears left to cry. I have no musings left to groan. Instead, seething animosity coats my insides, blistering rage in my bones. I know these days come along every year like a grim holiday, a new anniversary we're forced to keep observing. So we light up the night sky and let shards of glass glitter the streets to show how deep we are hurting. Symphony of sirens, harmony of chants, this concert is meant to be disconcerting. I have ulcers layering my spirit, welts glazed along my heart. I need to do something about this burning. For every black man and woman who called out to their mothers because heaven was approaching faster than the paramedics, I now see the privilege, not in my circumstances, but in the breath I still breathe, because the driver's license I carry reads more like an obituary when found in the hands of the police. So what else are we to do? When the love, peace, and compassion intrinsic to our genetics and generation falls on deaf ears and does little to prove our blessed humanity, what more am I to be afraid of when beasts of no eyes, camouflaged skulls, and magazines full of rubber teeth once hissed with smoke and roared gunfire at us all as they prowled the streets? Because the audacity of this evil comes from its creativity to spawn new shapes and take on different forms, and though weary I may be, the vitality of my hope will always imagine more. This is what it looks like when love goes to war. This is how redemption settles the score. My name is Miss Mari. I'm a poet and spoken word artist here in Minneapolis. So I've always been a lover of writing. I've always been a writer all my life, and poetry I've always enjoyed because there's an inherent emotion to it. It's always personal whenever you're writing poetry. My poetry is metaphorical, it's imaginative, it's conversational. When you hear me talk, you not only understand exactly what I'm trying to tell you, but I ensure that I bring words to things that have either laid dormant for you, that you've brought to the back of your mind, or that you've known all your life, but you've never quite given voice to. I ensure that that kind of voice is given light in some form or fashion in whatever piece that I bring to.
Hello everyone, so just before we get started with the video, I want to introduce myself. My name is MOUA. This song is called Not Alone, and this song was really inspired by all the people, the different kind of people around me. And I just want to tell you that no matter what you're going through, there are people who are willing to listen to you, and there are people who are willing to be there for you, and who could feel what you feel right now, and that you're not alone. Don't be afraid, you're not alone. I know it's hard when you're losing hope. Don't be afraid, you're not alone. I know it's hard when you're losing hope. You're your own individual. The things you do, they're all beautiful. So don't ever question if you're enough. I'ma give you all a shout out, yeah. I'ma bring us up, not bring us down. 'Cause I'ma appreciate who you are now. Shout out to my queer peers. We've been through a lot, yeah, let's be honest. I know that people stop and stare, but never let them give you fear. Next up, shout out
I should just write this song and then like share for everybody. During that time, there was like a lot of like anti-Asian hate like campaign going on, and they wanted me to write a song for them to display for folks to listen to in public, that is. And so that night, I remember in November, I was just like, I'm gonna write down everything that I'm feeling right now. And I'm gonna write down all the things that I've been hearing, how other people feel, and mash it into this one song. And that's how I got the song.
Shout out to all my POC youth, feeling like we don't have a clue on what to do when it always is just bad news.
Activism and art really go hand in hand, because when people look at art and when they listen to art, right, I'm talking about music, I'm talking about graffiti, I'm talking about like painting, etc., anything you could imagine, I feel like it could influence people. In activism, you need influence, right? And you want to influence people. Like art that is a part of activism, I think that's like 2 times, you know, and the more the better when you have influence. What I'm supposed to do with this music, and I think I'm gonna use this music to actually heal people and to bring folks together, right? Regardless of who you are and like the experiences that you've been through. If like we all get together as folks who care for one another and right with love, right? I think like unity will like happen a lot faster.
It's hard when you're losing hope.
My name is Louis. I go by Louis Blaze, and I just like to inspire people, man. I like to, you know, spread love. I create art, create music. I'm into education, man. I love paying it forward, giving the knowledge to the next generation coming up. Without art, there's no life. You know, without art, there's no future. You know, I view art as an essential element of our existence. We are art. You know, we are so talented, we are so gifted. Everybody, when I say we, I'm talking about me, I'm talking about you, I'm talking about the people watching this video. Everybody has some form of, you know, self-expression within them.
My name is Malik Curtis, I go by Juice Lord. I'm an MC, poet, actor. I always quote the late great Nina Simone. Art should reflect the times, telling my story, telling other people's story, giving people an idea of, you know, where I come from, of where many of us come from, my upbringing, you know, who I was raised by. That's where the art comes from.
My name is Adrian Wilson. I'm a filmmaker here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The art aspect of it, and that's where I'm trying to approach with my film, is not just a documentary, it's an emotional, tugging documentary that's making you either cry, you're either happy, but you feel something out of it. And art makes you feel. And I can't really think of anything else that makes you feel something other than like just something so artistic that drives you so much that you can't let it go.
My name is SYNE. I'm the executive assistant here at Black Table Arts. Creativity has played a large role in why people are so activated right now. Art is a form of documentation. Art is history. Art is supposed to move people and get them activated.
So I am Georgia Ford, an independent journalist, changing the narrative through visual stories. And I also am the founder of Black Press, which is a community for other independent journalists. And it's a platform where people can come to find diverse perspectives about issues that affect Black and brown communities.
Art automatically influences people. We learn from others, right? And we read, we consume things, we listen. All of those things is building up the next generation.
I see murals everywhere around Minneapolis I would think about it all the time, but just having also visual indicators, I think makes it even more impactful.
So art is extremely important in every single aspect of life. Looking at how the art exploded last year and how important art is, if the mayor sees something that captures his eye, he's gonna remember it at all times. Even if he does something about it or not. He's gonna remember a face, the art structure, the video, or whatever it is, because art is emotional, right? It brings emotion out of people. Now, you might not like this drawing, but somebody might cry because of that drawing, because it channels something out of them that makes them love it so much.
It's hard for me to articulate the power that art has to influence the way people feel. But ultimately, I think art is something that can transcend narrative, and it can move beyond just the language, and it can hit people in their heart. And once you hit their heart, I think that is what activates people to take action, which ultimately results in true change.
I'll give y'all another song while I'm wiping all the tears off a mother's face. They want a race war, planet of the apes. They want the kings gone, we ain't going today. The sun loves our skin, we won't evaporate. We multiply every time one dies. I think it's time that we set up a meeting of all the minds. I told my homies we need guys and not, but I ain't preaching it all. It's just a letter to the soldiers of ours, to those who really know who we are. See, even when we clock out, we live amongst the stars. This here is raw passion for my people across the globe. I ain't just rapping. Don't call me a conscious rapper. I'm a conscious man. Your favorite rapper is as well, but in a room full of execs, he'll tap dance for an advance. Man, we at war, man. War. I won't ever go. I won't ever go. I won't.
We've all seen documentaries about black men being dead. I'm trying to come to tell this story from a black man's perspective, but something of not showing the death aspect of it, showing of what black people go through, which folks don't get that. And there's no bigger impact to me on this earth than music. Music is everlasting, film is everlasting, and photos are everlasting.
If I could rewind time, I'd still choose to take on the load and do it all over again. My faith is growing, but I still believe that there's no way of knowing how far I can go if I really try to achieve all my goals.
I think I'm gonna use this music to actually heal people and to bring folks together, right? Regardless of who you are and like the experiences that you've been through.
We really want to get more involved with children. I mean, black people need a space, but I also think black children really need a space where their voices are heard. Kids are so creative, they have so much to give, and I think just giving kids more autonomy would really help in just a better future for everyone.
I'm trying to make change. I'm changing every day.
I think artwork has inspired people to continue this conversation. Changing the narrative is looking at the language that's used. An example that was actually surrounding protest art was the red paint in Uptown that was used by activists to symbolize the blood that had been shed by Winston Smith. When I looked at one of the local affiliates reporting on the same story, they called it graffiti, which implicates criminal activity, vandalism, damaging property. It implicates very negative things, and it takes away the humanity of the action that was intended.